Okay, so here we are in Sacramento. It's unbelievable. September 12th. It's about a year and a half after the Tea Party movement started. We had no idea where we'd be. People said the movement wouldn't continue, it would die out, it was just a spark that was going to sputter away, but the reality is it's all over the country, over 2,800 chapters, and as this event starts, we have simultaneous events starting in Washington, D.C., St. Louis under the Gateway Arch. We're expecting an incredible day. We're glad you guys are here with us.
Look at all the people that are here, even early. We have this pre-event rally concert. It's amazing, the energy that's out there. I can't wait for this.
What brings me out? Just trying to take back the country, tired of being taxed, tired of all of our money being given away.
Where are you from?
From Madison, California. We're ready to take back the country.
I want to show my support for what the Tea Party stands for.
Recapturing America, trying to get back to what we used to be and what we really should be. That's why I'm here.
We want to take back America. We live by the Constitution.
We want to take America back.
To uphold the values of the Constitution.
So we're checking it out and we're liking it and we're enjoying the message that's being sent here.
We do believe in faith, family, freedom. I'm an immigrant, so
Washington doesn't understand it, but they will.
We should be very proud of it.
And we've got
The government is telling us what it's going to do rather than asking us what the people want.
I look around me at this crowd here and you get goosebumps because of the amount of people and how they act. They're all Americans.
I believe in the freedom of America and I want my freedom back.
Less government, trying to teach my kids more about the Constitution.
I want to reestablish liberty or assist in doing that in this country.
Well, we're here to defend the Constitution and make sure we take the country back.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
I want to introduce now our next speaker, who is the co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots, and I am so proud to be able to work side by side with him and his family. Mark Meckler has done so much for this country and sacrificed so much personally, and his family has as well, but they are the most gracious, patriotic, loving, caring people I have ever been associated with, and I'm proud to introduce to you Mark Meckler.
Good morning, Sacramento! Are there any patriots here today? Is there anybody willing to stand up today and say that you know that you matter? Stand up if you're a leader in this movement. Stand up if you've talked to anybody. Are there any patriots in the house? I need you to be louder. They need to hear you in St. Louis. Are there any patriots here today? That's what I want to hear. I need them to hear you in Washington, D.C. Are there any patriots here today? All right, so you can make a difference. Yeah, they're listening now, aren't they? I think they're sweating now because the future of our country is for our children. We have an obligation to those children to provide them with at least the country that was delivered to us, right? Are we going to do that? Are we willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen? literally dozens of bills, abominations that have been pushed upon us. And we are going to repeal all of that. It might take us years, but it's all going down. And we have to reduce. You know, our founding fathers knew a government big enough to give us what we need is big enough to take it all away. And we need to reduce the government. We need to reduce the government at the local level. We need to reduce the government at the city, the county, the state level. And mostly, we need to go after with box cutters and just cut up the federal government, bring it down to size, and stuff it back in the box. Are you with me? We need to restore this country back to its founding principles. Those are contained in the Constitution. Is there anybody here that's willing to swear to uphold the United States Constitution with me today?
And once again, another tyrant and a willing Congress are taking the rights and liberties of the American people. And again, we've had enough. Politicians saying one thing, doing another when they get elected to office. Tired of political parties that are more about power than about the people they're to serve. Our borders have been violated by thieves, criminals, and terrorists, and perhaps even worse, by people that have no regard for our culture and our history. Not to mention that it's against the law. Our sacred Constitution is trampled by judges, state and federal, who put themselves above the law they're sworn to uphold. Our federal government has grown in size, scope, and authority far beyond anything our forefathers ever imagined. Our national debt exceeds the wildest of imaginations, and our state sovereignty is routinely disregarded by the federal government. And when a state like Arizona stands up to protect its citizens and their health, safety, and welfare, it should be a sign of general alarm. Our fourth president and chief architect of the Constitution in Federalist 46, James Madison, said ambitious encroachments of the federal government on the authority of the state governments would excite the opposition not just of a single state, but would be a signal of general alarm. And listen to this quote. To what degree of madness could ever drive the federal government to such an extremity? That degree of madness is being exhibited by the president named Barack Obama, who is trying to socialize, demoralize, and destroy our country. And we should always remember his statement, "I don't quit." Well, Mr. President, neither do we.
Did you ever think you'd be a radical? The Constitution, limited government, freedom, radical notions, I tell you what.
Can you even imagine a couple of years ago an event where thousands of people show up and they hand out copies of the Constitution? That is pretty cool.
I heard Tom Friedman, who I respect as a writer in a lot of ways, say, you know, they're not for anything, it's just anger. And I thought, Tom, why don't you get out of Manhattan once in a while and come and see us folks? We're for limited government. We're for the Constitution. We're for freedom. We're for messy, sometimes nasty freedom. Sometimes freedom gives you a bloody lip. Sometimes freedom means you're not sure you can make the rent. Sometimes freedom is challenging, and freedom's the greatest gift a people could ever give itself. And one more thought from Sam Adams, who does not get nearly enough attention. He said, "It does not require a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen to set brush fires in people's minds." Well, I got good news. We're an irate, tireless majority, and it's time we realized it and acted like it.
We are a seed and a vision of true change and real hope. When I look out at all of us here today, I don't see black, white, or brown. I see red, white, and blue! And it is these colors that have reminded us that for too long we have been asleep while we were asleep. Our government has fed on our passivity. And as my grandmother said way back when, our government has gotten too big for its britches. And we will no longer sit by in silence as our government spins our children into submission and taxes us into serfdom and slavery. And as we close in our elections November 2nd, let every politician in every office, in every state, hear our voice and know our hearts. Wake up and smell the tea, because government will not be our God.
You and what you're doing now is what the left has feared for generations. Because they know that they cannot answer you on the details of the issues. This is a message and a wake-up call. For the last year, 2 years, this is a message that they are no longer in charge, that you are the sovereign, and you are indeed taking this country back. And the Founding Fathers knew that you were the people they were establishing this for, and they knew that you, if we were under attack and under threat, would come forward and take it back. They knew it. After these rallies today, once again, certain people in Washington will say, "What Tea Party? What are you talking about? We didn't see anything." Let them continue to lie to themselves, because they're done lying to us. Let a lot of people say, "I don't know what happened in November," and let them say it in 2012 as well. America has always stood up for real hope, real liberty, real justice. To this day, we accept more immigrants than every other country combined in the world. We are the most generous. We are the most free. Let's not stop. You keep going. Do not blink. Trust yourselves and take back this country. Thank you, everyone.
Politicians don't like tea parties because they don't want to be held accountable. When you're not holding their feet to the fire, they put their interest ahead of you, the people's interest. To quote one of my favorite patriots, President Ronald Reagan, "We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Only you can hold their feet to the fire when the turncoats who say they're against tax hikes vote to raise taxes." You can make a difference when the sellouts who say they're for cutting government vote to make it bigger. And put an end to the status quo when the Quislings who say they are for reform work with the liberals to block reform. If you are committed to this fight, then I have a question for you. Are you happy with the way things are going in Sacramento? Are you happy with the way things are going in Washington, D.C. with our president? And is it all over November 2nd, Election Day? Absolutely not. We're going to keep fighting. We will not be ignored anymore. Our votes will count and our voices will be heard. And we will fight and continue our fight until the country and our state are restored. And the people are once again in control of their own government and destiny. Thank you. God bless California, and God bless America.